Hey guys, George from SoundTraxx here. Now today we're going to talk about brakes with our steam locomotive. We showed you how these work with diesels in the past videos, but let's show you how they work with our steam engine now. So as we've talked about in the past, the Tsunami2 is equipped with braking systems to represent the independent brake and the automatic. Now just as a recap, the independent brake, as its name implies, are the sounds of the brake shoes on the locomotive as they actually grip the wheels and bring the locomotive to a stop. Now that's the squealing that you're hearing. So let's take a listen to that right now. We're going to get this locomotive moving at about speed step 10. Now when I activate F11, you're going to hear the locomotive squeal to a stop. And that's the sound of the independent. Now when I release, you're going to hear the bail off, and the locomotive is going to start moving again. Now the other braking system on the locomotive is called the automatic, or the train brake. Now this one works with negative air pressure. Throughout the train line, you have hoses that are connected between the cars. Now this maintains a positive air pressure throughout the train. That positive air pressure removes the brake shoes off of the cars. Therefore, the locomotive is able to run and pull the train. But when that air pressure is reduced, those brakes will actually automatically apply to the wheels on the cars. So if there was a break in the train line, for example, if an air hose breaks or anything like that, the air pressure would reduce and those brake shoes would automatically apply to the wheels. Now how that works with our locomotive. The locomotive, when you transition from independent brake mode to train brake mode, the F12 is pressed. What you're going to hear is you're going to hear the brake pressure and the brake system change over, but you're also going to hear the compressor charge the train line. And this will run for about 30 seconds or so, and that way you can get a nice charge on your train line. Now, when we hear the sounds of the locomotive running, you're actually going to hear the air reduction in the cab of the locomotive, and when coupled with sound car, you're going to get a really cool effect because the squeal now comes from the freight cars. So let's take a listen to the automatic. We're going to change into automatic train brake mode. You hear this change over the brakes, and now you're hearing that compressor as it's charging its train line. And like I said, that'll run for about 30 seconds, but in the essence of time, we'll go ahead and run. So I'm still running at speed step 10. I'm going to release my brakes, and you're going to hear that 6 air system release, and it's going to let the locomotive run. Now once we get going, I'm going to apply the brakes, again using the F11 function. You hear that air reduction, and now the locomotive is going to take a little longer because I've got the CV set in such a way that the train brake will take longer to bring the locomotive to a stop. That way it simulates the heavy train behind it. Now each of these braking rates are set independently, and they both work with the deceleration in momentum. You can see how that is set up in our user's guide at SoundTraxx.com under this Manuals tab. Check out the Tsunami Steam User's Guide and go to the section for braking. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to call us at any time. Support is at extension 22, and we're an email away at support@SoundTraxx.com.